Short, not pulled away, was in the air for quite some time. Not so sure he got full hold of it. In fact, he did. Picks up 6 runs. Again, Bond just strained down the leg side. Helped on its way. Another boundary to Christopher Gayle.
Well, that's dispatched. Hammered it. In the air. Didn't clear mid-on by all that much, but it was travelling.
Nicely driven by Christopher Gayle. That's a beautiful shot this morning. Well, if that sets the standard, we're in for a cracking day.
You wouldn't think this is the first ball he's faced, Chris Gayle, but he got the leg forward. Just hit through the line. This is an absolutely superb pitch for batting. No movement whatsoever from the ball, only movement off the bat.
Near, but safe. And another boundary for the West Indies.
That's a fine on drive. Stepped into it and hammered it down the ground for a half century to Chris Gayle. It's well played.
Yeah, that's his 6th boundary in 50. Notice how he closes the face here slightly, just to get it on the on side of the stumps, and in between the stumps and mid-on.
And instead, he goes through extra cover. A very good shot from Chris Gayle. A classical extra cover drive.
This is a good shot. Strokes this, gets the right foot to the pitch of the ball. Keeps the head still, keeps the head steady, and strokes the ball.
That is a top shot from Christopher Gayle. Just stood up and hit it straight down the ground, and it's gone all the way to the boundary.
Yes, this is a super shot. Just stood up straight. Got his right elbow up nice and high and just punched it down the ground.
In the bit of fortune going the way of Chris Gayle on that occasion. Played away from the body, well away.
Well swept. Clears away very quickly to the boundary for 4. Well, that eases the pressure a bit. Christopher Gayle has looked in very good form this morning.
Gayle reaching well out in front of himself, hitting well out and getting it nice and square.
Excellent bit of fielding. Beautiful shot. Finds the gap for a run. More magic from Christopher Gayle.
Well, the 11th boundary for Gayle here, piercing the gap. Just a 4 on the offside, 5 on the onside for Daniel Vettori, turning the ball back into the left-handed Chris Gayle.
Quarry. And gets 4 runs. Full toss and puts it away. Puts it to the right of mid-off.
He's found the gap regularly today, Chris Gayle.
Well, he might have tried it. Beat the short extra cover. Mid-off was too slow to get after that. And Christopher Gayle pierces the field and is set exactly for him to prevent that type of shot. But he got it through.
Hurtad will slide it through the covers. That's his 100. Chris Gayle's 2nd Test 100.
Oh yes, he is delighted and sorry for his teammates. Played well, just that 1 or 2 blemishes the last hour or so, but a very solid knock by Chris Gayle.
In the air and safe, but only just slapped away, almost flat batted by Christopher Gayle. Mark Richardson took off, went with it after it with 2 hands, couldn't get there. Oh, that's pulled away nicely on one leg, almost a la Brian Lara. Christopher Gayle just cutting loose with the new ball. Sometimes the faster it comes, the faster it goes. Oh, he's hit that ever so hard. Richardson doesn't have to dive in that one. That's 4 more. The crowd almost going into a frenzy.
121. When you see something like this, you'll see it early because he's been at the crease for a long time.
That very few of them have been gliding away. That's another brilliant short-arm jab to wide long on.
Well, he's picked his gap here, deliberately picking the gap, closing the face of the bat quite late.
No! Oh, he's faced to that. It's a no ball. It's going onto the ground. It's huge. It's 6. That was straight out of the middle of the bat. A no ball for Shane Bart. And Christopher Gayle is in astounding form.
And going back and just standing up straight, hammering down the ground. And will go all the way. Really a powerful man, Chris Gayle. Didn't seem to have timed that at all. My goodness. Ooh. Mid-off was no more than a couple of yards away from that, and he hardly moved before the ball had passed him.
Well, the mid-off didn't even get down, Tony. Couldn't even get into a stride. It was struck so powerfully.
Fair straight drive. That brings up his 150. Good save by Vettori. 151 for Chris Gayle.
And that's hard, high, 1 bounce over the boundary. 4 runs.
This is just dragged down a little and using a strong bottom hand. Gayle's just whacked that away.
Beautiful shot. Again, he really had to use the strength of the wrist to get that ball away. As you see, pretty therapeutic. And they might be in need of some therapy here, the New Zealand bowlers, because that's 4 more. Daniel Vettori's taken some stick.
And you can see once again the lazy bounce from this pitch. There it is, and Gayle's able to go back.
And that's going to go all the way to the boundary. Struck with another dose of firm power. Even the diving effort couldn't stop it. Good shot again from Chris Gayle. It's gone through. Matt Horn diving at it, couldn't get a hand to it. He runs into the boundary markings.
Well, he's really struck the ball well today, Chris Gayle. Struck that very powerfully. Valiant effort there from Matt Horn. Couldn't quite get to it.
And speaking of volcanic, that is an eruption once again from Chris Gayle. Almost running out of ways to describe this innings.
Very hard to the left of the diving fielder at cover. Matt Horn, the substitute, on for Craig McMillan. It was travelling. He had to fly through the air to get the left hand to it, but he did get the hand to it and put it down.
Still on 199.
That's it. Crowd rises and cheers and waves and jumps and shouts. And Gayle will come back for the second. Spectators are coming onto the ground to hail Chris Gayle's double 100. Pandemonium in Queen's Park. by a West Indian for the season, following Carl Hooper's 233 in the first test against India back in April. And given finally. Gayle stands there, fine delivery from Bond. A belated decision by umpire Venkatragavan, and a magnificent innings of 204 by Chris Gayle is ended. Comes off shaking his head. Fine delivery by Shane Bond. Umpire Venkatragavan just having a little time to consider and then raising the finger in that characteristic fashion of his.